I am Rachel Wulff. I have been with my husband for almost 14 years, married for just about 10 of those. I have a 3-year-old daughter. We have a 3-year-old daughter. Her name is Sarah Beth, and she's the love of our life.
I've been a TV anchor and reporter for 14 years, with jobs that have taken us halfway across the country several times.
I was laid off in Philadelphia, and I was out of work and looking for a job in television for about a year and a half, and I took several odd jobs, part-time jobs, and I realized quickly that if I were ever going to stay in broadcasting, I always wanted to have a plan B, and this is my plan B, which is starting to become my plan A, because I've realized I really like it and I'm very passionate about it. Not only does it bring us a financial gain, we make money on the homes, but we're also able to help revitalize our neighborhood.
We moved down here 2 years after Hurricane Katrina, and after seeing that 80% of the city's housing stock was damaged, I immediately started looking for a house to renovate. I didn't have to look too far. I spotted a blighted property just a few doors down from where we were living.
Every time I'd go for a run, I would see this house, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to know why it was abandoned, and next thing you know, I jumped the fence, and the rest was history. I've been jumping fences ever since. I just see homes and I see life, even though that they're full of mold and the roof's leaking and sometimes the floor is non-existent. There once was a family who lived there, and it's so sad to see that that's gone. And so being able to come in and help recreate that and put my own little touch on it it's inspiring, and it brings me a lot of joy. Well, my team consists of a group of friends and co-workers. I mean, they've become my co-workers because we've worked together now on several projects. Of course, it's my husband. He's part of my team. He's the reason that I'm able to do a lot of this, because his job is a little bit more flexible, and he also is ready to pitch in and lay tile and lay down sod. And I have a great realtor. I have a realtor who is very plugged into the community. She knows what's going on in the community, different laws, ordinances, different developments that are coming in that could impact our next purchase. So she definitely has my back.
She showed up on my front porch one day and we've been friends, and we've worked together since then.
The first abandoned home my husband and I bought and renovated was next door to realtor Kelly Wright. After we moved in, Kelly and I quickly became friends.
I got lucky in that Rachel had run into a really bad realtor before me. And so we started talking through the fence, and next thing you know, we're looking at properties. She had a property to sell, and I sold it. So then we started looking for more properties, and we have had some real adventures at properties, climbing in windows, kicking in doors, syringes, you name it, we've run into it. Private investigators, deadbeats, everything. It's never a dull moment with Rachel. But that's why she's great, because she's not afraid of challenging properties. There's a tree, I can see there's open air in the back room, asbestos roof. It's got a little dip in the middle. It needs a lot, but we love the location. Oh, look at this floor. There's plant life growing here. But you do have a set of knives in the kitchen, I can see from here. Oh.
A couple of times a month we get together. Some friends have coffee. We look at blighted properties, and we have logged a lot of miles over the years.
Okay, so when we come up to a lot of these houses, we have to do a very quick assessment of what the price per square foot to renovate will be, and also then what the price per square foot to sell will be, because you're on that end.
Yeah, and you like houses to sell fast. And remember how we talked about you calling me at 11 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning when the houses don't sell? That's when the phone starts ringing. This is a classic shotgun double. Shotgun, shoot through the house, bullet goes through every room on either side. It's classic New Orleans, 30-foot by 100 deep lot. I don't like that way. I don't like that way. That way's okay. This way looks all right.
Okay.
It's not as bad a block as I thought. It's just not going to sell fast. I just don't think you can get top dollar over here.
What do you think square foot wise, price per square foot?
Much, much lower.
100, 120? Okay.
82,
82.
95,
Okay.
65, it depends.
Okay.
But yeah, not over 100. So no, I don't love it.
All right, so just a few doors down, we have another house in the same block for sale. Bigger house, Have you seen this house yet?
No, I did not do a drive-by on
Oh, you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna love it.
this. The fact that the house is like 8 degrees off center is a big problem.
I'm
though.
sick just looking at this house.
Wow, yeah. That's a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah, I'm not going in there.
You're not going inside?
Are you going inside?
I might go inside.
All right, you go inside.
The door's wide open. It looks very inviting. I'm just saying.
I still have children.
So do I.
There's your hardwood floors. Those would stand up great.
Perfect. In fact, when they tear down this house, you should buy the floors out of it. Got 12-pane windows. Those are so pretty.
You've got the bookends and the columns and all the
I love
craftsman
that.
details. It makes me sad to think that this house might have to be torn down. So both of these are off our list?
Yeah. Yeah, unless you get them for like $100.
100? Is that your commission?
About 8 blocks away is a huge raised basement home that's been neglected for decades.
I kind of love this one. I love the location. It's across the street from the library. It's across the street from the park. Across the street from the church. The house itself, I'm not so sure.
I know. Look at the artwork that's built in on this one. I'm worried though with the upside down cross. Is this a vampire nest?
Got my garlic.
What I like about Kelly is she's always open to look, and she's a realtor who keeps it real. Sometimes that means reeling me back in.
Oh man, forget it, Rachel.
If we see obvious structural problems, I often bring in an elevation contractor to take a closer look.
This is really predominantly a swampy, water plain, and we built a major metropolitan city on it, and this landscape constantly changes. So you definitely want to look for something that has minimal foundation problems. You will always have some type of foundation issue in New Orleans to deal with. It is very few and far in between that you can find what would be considered a perfect house. This house to me would be just a teardown because of the fact that you have so many structural issues here. You can see that as the wall bows out, there is really nothing supporting the house except for the center wall, which is down the center of the house. So this house could literally rack one way or the other and actually fall. To actually go in and replace all of the sill work and all of the walls would make it just completely a cost overrun that you couldn't afford to do. It would be cheaper to actually build a new structure here than it would to try to repair this house.
When researching these houses, I often end up here at City Hall to find out more about damage assessments and other rules and regulations post-Katrina. At the end of the day, I want to make sure things don't put me over budget or over my timeline.
Any disaster that's federally declared, you're supposed to, as the local community, go through the community and catalog the disaster. Inspectors went door to door through every building in the city and categorized damage based on sort of a checklist. What was the level of damage to the roof? How bad was the foundation? Was there exterior damage that was purely cosmetic, or was it actually structural? And the result of that damage assessment is if your building was above 50% damaged, you could not get a permit to repair. You had to elevate that structure or prove that it meets the existing flood elevation.
And all of that means more time and more money, possibly $75,000 to $100,000 to elevate a 2-story home. That's when you really have to crunch the numbers and see if it's going to be a flip or a flop.
I got 2,000 square feet. I'm not, that side of the neighborhood, $80 to $100 a square foot. That side of the neighborhood is $185 a square foot. I'm going to be conservative, and I'm going to go $165 over here for 2,000 square foot. Puts us at $330. I mean, that's not crazy, I don't think. It's a good location. It's right at the foot of Napoleon. I think it could be a top dollar one. I mean, it's a grand home. Yeah, but it's an expensive one to renovate. And it's a big project. I think you could make the same amount of money on a smaller house with less headaches.
When looking to buy a property, especially one that's been declared blighted or seized by the city post-Katrina, we bring in our title attorney, Keith Andrews.
But just like putting a lot of work into a structure to rehabilitate it, likewise, if you put a lot of work into the title, you can rehabilitate the title to the point that you can issue title insurance and sell the property to a new purchaser.
He's very bright. He's obviously a great attorney that knows the law, and in Louisiana there is Napoleonic law, so sometimes it's uber complicated, and Keith is able to tell me what the law means, and then I'll ask him, okay, what does that mean in English? And he's able to simplify it and put it in layman's terms so I can say, well, how do we make this happen?
She can be really tough at pushing things along and making sure everybody's on it 24/7. And so based on that, I gave her the nickname the Honey Badger, because she's running, she's sweet and she's an attractive lady, yet she's running around badgering everybody to get everything done and to push the deal along.
Keith's former roommate Devin is our contractor. He and his brother Travis run Sweeney Restoration. They've renovated 5 homes with us in the last 3 years.
It's got its ups and downs. It's fun because we get to do entire house projects, and we're rebuilding New Orleans homes one at a time. But it's also sort of unorganized at times, and it can be aggravating sometimes. So it's good and bad. You build something to the specs that they desired, and then they come in and see it and they say, oh no, that's not what I want. Can we do it different?
And after the money is all spent, there's the struggle to landscape for less. Clearing debris away from the property is usually the first item of business. That's when we bring in a few extra hands. Green Hands Landscaping.
Spray all that. I'll use Killzall, which is the strongest herbicide. Cut all these branches off. That way it can provide sun to the total landscape. So that needs to be dealt with. Get all those weeds knocked out.
Rachel and Kurt do a great job on their houses. They have nice finishes. They expect, they have a lot of integrity about the quality of the work. So she wants to make sure that the house is completely right and done right, and that things aren't going to break or be shoddy for the buyers. And she's very careful about that, and she's very thoughtful about it. And it's a nice thing. It makes it easy to sell the house.
We're here in Central City, New Orleans, where today we're going to the bank. And when I say the bank, I don't mean a place where you put your money. I mean a place where you bank your architectural treasures. And just like anything New Orleans, it's not so much about the search, it's about the story.
To put like a normal, just casing door.
If walls could talk, this building salvage store would have a lot to say. The former casket factory houses hundreds of cypress doors, shutters, and other wooden pieces like these corbels, decorative brackets for porches.
I don't know of any other city that does repurposing or concentrates on historical significance as much as New Orleans do.
Inside doors. Oh, there's an outside door. Oh, I like this door. Buy this new and have it custom made could be $500–600. If we buy it here, we're recycling, so we're staying green, if you will, and we're probably going to save a little money.
We deal with homeowners themselves. Contractors, home builders, they'll deal with homeowners through us, but they rarely ever relish the opportunity to use an old door or bracket. It's the homeowners twisting their arm in order to get it done.
Because it's more work often.
It is.
Another place to shop for architectural salvage items is the Green Project, across town in the St. Roch neighborhood. It might take you a little bit longer to find your treasure, but the idea is still the same.
When you've manufactured an item, you have used a tremendous amount of carbon to go get the raw material, to transport that to a factory, work in the factory, and then bring it here. So that there's a carbon footprint attached to a new item. If you buy something used, you get credit for that. New Orleans obviously is a very old city and has houses from many, many years back, as well as a very large building boom that happened in the 20s and 30s. So we have houses that are craftsman style, Victorian kinds of houses, so it's a wide variety, and we get it all in here at one point or another.
And every block is a reflection of that. It's that unique charm combined with a booming economy that's drawing people to the Crescent City. And in 2013, 8 years after Hurricane Katrina, there are still 44,000 blighted properties in Orleans Parish. So many houses, so much opportunity.
It's very rewarding to see the for sale sign go up and to have the young couples come in with families who are hopeful. It's really what New Orleans is all about, especially post-Katrina, the resurrection of the phoenix, the revitalization, if you will. And I'm really proud to be a part of that.